If you're watching this video, it's a pretty safe assumption that you are at least somewhat invested in improving your play. I think, though, that it's important to sort of take a step back and evaluate exactly why that is. I got the idea for this from a podcast that Troy and Fear Dragon did where they had Pig and Maynard on as guests. They're kind of talking about this notion that there's this assumption in the community that everybody just wants to get better, right? Everybody wants to improve their play to the fullest extent that they can, and that every hour that they spend on the game is going to be spent specifically trying to improve their play. And the guys on that podcast were kind of talking about dispelling that and some of their experiences in terms of finding ways to actually enjoy the game beyond that. So, to be clear, it's totally fine if that's what you want to do, but it's also totally fine if that isn't what you want to do. And you can really kind of change your approach to the game and go at a pace that more matches what you're trying to do if you're mindful of that. So just kind of off the top of my head, some things that might be your motivation. It could be you want to reach a certain league, right? Maybe you want to get to Platinum, or maybe you want to get to Masters, depending on where you're at. Or it could be, I just want to see how far I can go. I don't know if I can ever get to Masters, but, it would be really cool if I could get there. I just want to see if I can. It could be maybe you have a friend who got you into StarCraft, and they're really, really good. They're a lot better than you, and you want to get to their level, or maybe even beat them, right? And you kind of just want to, elevate yourself to where the two of you can kind of have fun competitive games with one another. It could be something like what Fear Dragon does, where you're just trying your favorite strategy. He really likes DT, so he forces DT base trades every game right now. And he's having fun doing that. He's winning games doing it. And he's getting to do kind of what he loves. You could be the kind of person who just likes playing with different units. Like, let me just try out different mixes of compositions and see, does this work? Does that work? It could just be because you like the game and playing StarCraft, makes you have fun. It's a nice pastime. All of those are fine. And depending on where you are on kind of that spectrum that I just laid out, you might have a different approach to my videos or anybody else's in terms of how much focus you're putting on doing things, precisely right, or practicing and refining something to the utmost degree. So kind of just some things to think about that are just objectively true in StarCraft, right? Over a long enough span of time, everyone loses half of their games. Everyone. It's just how the MMR system works. Along with that, if there's a certain race or strategy that you struggle against, that's probably going to happen in the next league too. Unless you're doing something actively to change that, if, for instance, my PvP is really weak. If I don't do something to change that, then my PvP is going to continue to be weak, and I'm going to continue to not enjoy that matchup, whether I'm bronze or diamond, right? So the classical advice of, we'll just macro better. I mean, that's true if my goal is I want to get to Masters, right? And I'm bronze right now. Maybe that is what I need to do. But if, I just hate PvP and I want to not hate PvP and I want that matchup to be a little more even for me, I need to emphasize my practice there. If you're just playing for fun, maybe you don't care as much about some of the things that I talk about in these videos where you're really optimizing your hotkeys or making sure that, you can hit your injects in the absolute smallest amount of time. Maybe you can take more from learning about fun compositions or thinking about different ways to use your favorite units. So I guess my point with all this is just take a few moments and sort of think about what your goals are, and then evaluate if the way that you're playing the game and the way that you're approaching the game kind of matches that.